prokaryotic cells. The name prokaryotic itself is saying primitive. Karyon nucleus. Nucleus which is not fully formed. Primitive means early stages of evolution. Those organisms which are formed during the early stages of evolution are called as primitive. So this prokaryotic cells have nucleus which is not completely formed. So that is why primitive nucleus, prokaryote. Okay. So in this, what are the organisms that are included in this prokaryotic cell is bacteria. In bacteria, we have different types of bacteria, archaebacteria, blue-green algae, or cyanobacteria is also a type of bacteria. So apart from bacteria, we have mycoplasma. Mycoplasma is the smallest cell, or PPLO. Pluro pneumonia like organism. These two organisms are almost similar. Their length is 0.3 micrometer. You know what is micrometer, right? Micrometer is the smallest unit of measuring the length. It is equal to 1 by 10 to power 6 meters. Okay, you can divide a meter into 10 to power 6 micrometers, or 1 centimeter can be divided into 10 to power 4 micrometers. Okay, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 to power 4 micrometers. So imagine how small this organism is. 0.3 micrometers is the length of this mycoplasma. You take the length of bacteria is also 0.3 to 0.6. Sorry, 3 to 6 micrometer. 3 to 6 micrometer is also a very small length. Okay. So in this bacteria, you can see there are various organisms, various shapes of bacteria like comma-shaped bacteria. Bacteria shape is itself like this, or rod-shaped bacteria, or spiral bacteria. Spiral bacteria, or spherical bacteria. So there are various shapes in bacteria. Based on shapes, they have different names also. Spherical bacteria are called as coccus. Spherical bacteria are called as coccus. Comma-shaped bacteria are called as Vibrio. Rod-shaped bacteria are called as Bacillus. And spiral bacteria are called as Spirillum. So in prokaryotes, we have these different shapes, and mycoplasma or PPLO are more different compared to this bacteria because they do not have even cell wall. Cell wall is absent. I said you already that all prokaryotic cells have cell wall. But in case of mycoplasma, they do not have cell wall, and they are their shape is not unique. Like you take the example of amoeba. Amoeba keeps changing the shape. Same like that, this PPLO or mycoplasma also change their shape because of lack of cell wall. Okay, we'll see the structure of the outermost envelope of prokaryotic cells it's made up of 3 layers. Outermost envelope of prokaryotic cells is made up of 3 layers. Three-layer envelope. What are those 3 layers? Outermost. glycocalyx. This is outermost. Below that, there is a cell wall. Below that, there is a plasma membrane. Okay, almost for all the cells which do not have cell wall, plasma membrane is the outermost membrane, outermost structure. But since for some organisms, cell wall is the outermost membrane, like you take plant cells, fungus. But these prokaryotic cells have additional layer called glycocalyx. Glycocalyx is a layer that can be, it is of two types, somewhat soft and slimy in structure. It is called as slime layer. Okay, outermost. That means above the cell wall, there will be a slimy structure, jelly like. Slimy structure means jelly like structure, that is called as slime layer. Sometimes it is hard. It's not slime like structure, but it is hard. This hard structure which is present above the cell wall is called as capsule. Okay, some bacteria have slime layer and some bacteria has capsule. Okay, this is very thin and jelly like. This capsule is a little thick, not very thick, little thicker than slime layer, and it is hard, tough, and protects the inner layers. Okay, cell wall, as I have already told you, cell wall in this bacterial cells is made up of muramic acid. Unlike the cell wall that is present inside plants, unlike the cell wall that is present in fungus, this is made up of muramic acid. Okay, and plasma membrane is the innermost layer. Plasma membrane is the innermost layer of this three-layer envelope. Okay. Inside these three layers, inside the three-layer envelope, the liquid substance that is present inside the cell, the liquid portion that is present inside the cell is called as cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is also jelly-like matrix, jelly-like matrix, because of presence of various substances like glucose or proteins, fats, different things are dissolved in this cytoplasm. Okay, so that is why it makes it, these all substances which are dissolved in cytoplasm make it somewhat thick. So that is why it is jelly-like. In this cytoplasm, all the organelles, generally if you take in eukaryotic cells, there are so many organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, chloroplast, all these are present. But in case of this prokaryotic cells, yesterday when I said, the other day when I said you about differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, I said there are no organelles. So there are no membrane bound organelles except ribosomes are present here. Ribosomes are present here, and inclusion bodies. Inclusion bodies, they are formed from plasma membrane. Ribosomes are small spherical structures that float in the cytoplasm. That float in cytoplasm, and their function is protein synthesis. Protein synthesis. Okay. So those cells which have more amount of protein synthesis will have more ribosomes in it. Okay. Those cells which are not majorly involved in protein synthesis will have less amount of ribosomes in it. What are the inclusion bodies that are present? Okay, one more thing about ribosomes I need to say. Ribosomes sometimes they are bound together. They form a chain-like structures. Ribosomes get stuck together to form a chain-like structure. At that time, this is called as polyribosome. Polyribosome. Polyribosome is a structure in which several ribosomes are stick together to form a chain-like structure. It is also called as polysome. It is also called as polysome. Now, what are inclusive bodies? Inclusion bodies are those substances which are stored inside the cytoplasm, like glycogen granules, lipid granules, that means the nutrients that are produced by this either by ribosomes or which is taken in by that organism will be stored in the form of small granules inside the cytoplasm. Those small granules, maybe it is glycogen granule or it is a phosphate granule, cyno cynophisian granules. Okay, these are nothing but substances that are taken inside, consumed by that organism. Once it is consumed, whatever substance is there in that, that will be absorbed into that cytoplasm. So as a result, it forms small granules. Those granules are called as inclusion bodies. Okay, right. Apart from this, what else is present inside the cytoplasm of this? What else is present in the cytoplasm? Let us see. The plasma membrane of this prokaryotes. Sometimes it is folded inside like this. It is folded inside like this. This infolds of cytoplasm is called as mesosomes. Mesosomes either they form vacuole-like structures. These are called as vesicles, round spherical structures, or small tubules like this. Or it forms sheet-like structures called lamellae. That means not like small tubes, but this will be a complete sheet. So this is a complete sheet-like structure. Below that, one more sheet-like structure. This sheet-like structures will be called as lamellae. Okay. Difference between tubules and lamellae is lamellae will be very thin like this. If it is folded inside, it forms a thin tube like this. Whereas, tubules form thin tube-like structures. Lamellae will form a continuous sheet like this. This is one sheet that is folded like this. This is one complete sheet. Okay, that sheet is folded like this. You take the paper and fold it. When you fold the paper, how does it look? That is called as lamellae. Okay, tubules are thin pipe-like structures. Lamellae are sheet-like structures. So these mesosomes have different functions, like they are involved in respiration, that is exchange of gases. They have very good enzyme content. Enzymes are those substances which are helpful in digestion. Okay, enzymes are those substances which are helpful in digestion. This enzyme is also present over this mesosome. So as a result, it helps in digestion process. Digestion process. In production of new DNA molecule. DNA, when new DNA molecule is produced, it is called as DNA replication. Production of new DNA molecule is called as DNA replication. Production of new DNA molecule is called as DNA replication. Apart from DNA replication, It is also useful in distribution to daughter cells. When new DNA is formed and the daughter cell is formed, means that means the cell is dividing into two daughter cells. Then for distribution of DNA is also mesosomes are very useful. Distribution of DNA also it's very useful. Okay, you are having some doubts. 1 minute. Okay, Rashmita is asking what is lipid granules and glycogen granules. See, in food we have carbohydrate molecules. When carbohydrate molecules are forming small granules, it is called as glycogen granules. Glycogen granules. Okay. When lipids, that means fat substances, are called as lipids. When lipids are present in the food material, when they are absorbed into cytoplasm, they form small lipid granules. Okay, that is the difference between lipid granules and glycogen granules. Okay, like tubules are like blouses. Yes, they are tube-like structures. Tube-like structures. That's why they are. Yeah, they look like blouses. You're right. Okay, what we were discussing about the use of these mesosomes. What similarities do you want? Similarity between glycogen granules and lipid molecules. Lipid granules is they are small round structures that are present in cytoplasm. They float in the cytoplasm. Okay. Okay. We are discussing about mesosome. It helps in respiration. It has enzymes, so it helps in digestion also. New DNA formation and distribution of DNA in daughter cells. In daughter cells. Apart from that, it also helpful in cell wall formation. Cell wall formation also. So mesosomes have a wide range of uses. Apart from this mesosomes, other some cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria or blue-green algae, same. They are one type of bacteria. They are not algae. By as the name is saying, algae. They are named algae, but they are bacteria. Cyano, blue color bacteria. Cyano means blue. Blue color bacteria. They can make their own food. That's why they are called as algae, but they are not algae. They are one type of bacteria. This bacteria has one extra substance called chromatophores. Chromatophores. These chromatophores have pigments in them. Because of these pigments that are present in them, that is, they have an blue color pigment. That is why they look blue in color. Okay, when you observe in water under microscope, we can see there are some blue color bacteria. Those color bacteria can make their own food. Okay, these bacteria have another substance called chromatophores inside the cytoplasm. These are also produced from plasma membrane only. Okay, they have pigments in them which give blue color to this bacteria. Okay, other type of bacteria do not have this chromatophores. Only it is present in cyanobacteria. There are other forms of bacteria. In other forms of bacteria, this is not present. What is present? There are some extensions that come from the cytoplasm. Okay. In this bacteria, some of the bacteria are motile. Motile means move from one place to another. They move from one place to another. Non-motile bacteria do not move. Okay. So the motile bacteria should have something for moving from one place to another place. What is that? They have a structure called flagella. Okay. Flagella is a whip-like structure. Whip means, you know, that which is used to bring when chariots are pulled by some animals, like you take buffaloes or horses and all, they use one whip-like structure, whiplash. Same like that, this flagella is also like that only. Why? It is having a filament. Filament. This part from here to here, it is called as basal body. Basal body. And from here to here, there is a hook. This is called as hook. So this basal body holds that in place, and whip like this hook like structure holds this filament. Okay. What is the use? Whenever flagellum moves like this, it rises like an oar is used to move the boat. Flagellum moves like this to bring that water back, and it will move. Bacteria moves forward. Okay. All bacteria do not have single flagellum. There are some of the bacteria have only one flagellum, some of the bacteria have more than one flagellum. Those bacteria which have one flagellum are called as monotrichous. Some of the bacteria have flagellum here and here. One bunch of flagellum arises from here, one bunch of flagellum will be here. That type of bacteria are called as amphitrichous. Amphitrichous. Some of the bacteria have flagellum throughout the body. Anywhere from body it can arise. They are called as peritrichous. Peritrichous. Some of the bacteria have tuft of flagella, one bunch of flagella that arises from one region. Instead of having one flagellum, they have so many, but from one region only. They are called as lophotrichous. Lophotrichous. Now, what is monotrichous? Only one flagellum is present. Amphitrichous, two bunches. Two bunches, one at one corner, another one at another corner. Bacteria which is having one bunch from here, one bunch from here. Peritrichous, throughout the body, anywhere it can start. Throughout the body. And lophotrichous has one bunch that arises from any one corner. Okay, that is based on flagellum. Not only flagellum arises from the cell body, there are other structures called fimbriae. Fimbriae. We already learned about fimbriae in female reproductive system. Fimbriae are present at the corner of, what is the structure? Can anyone remember? In female reproductive system, I said you that the finger-like structures that are present at the corner of oviduct. are called as fimbriae. This fimbriae are different, that fimbriae are different. So don't confuse here. We are talking about fimbriae in bacteria. That fimbriae is related to ovary, uh, fallopian tubule. This fimbriae is related to bacteria. The fimbriae that is present on the cell body, brush-like structures. Throughout the body they are present. What is their function? They act as anchors. Anchor means something that holds firmly is called as an anchor. What is the function of roots in plant? They hold them firmly in the soil. Same like that, this bacteria uses this fimbriae that are distributed over the body as anchoring substances. When they want to attach to any surface or host body is any body in which they are attacking and causing diseases. Okay, in that body when they want to attach themselves firmly, they use fimbriae as anchoring structures. Apart from fimbriae and flagella, there is one more structure called pili that arises in bacteria only during sexual reproduction in bacteria. What is sexual reproduction? Exchange of genetic material between two organisms. Okay. So during that exchange of genetic material, this is one bacteria, this is another bacteria. To exchange the genetic material from this bacteria to this bacteria, one structure called pili will develop. Okay. When it is developing, it will be small like this. It will grow in size. It will attach finally to the other bacteria. Okay. We'll study about in deep when you study about bacteria. We'll study about them in deep when we study about bacteria. Presently, you understand that it is a structure which helps in exchange of genetic material. Exchange of genetic material. Exchange of genetic material. That means what is present here, from here to here, it should go. Okay? Right. Okay. Finally, we'll discuss about the genetic material in bacteria. The genetic material in bacteria, I said you, it is located in the center. Usually it is located in center in all prokaryotic cells to form a nucleoid. Nucleoid because it's not having a membrane around it. Okay, no liquid is present inside, only the genetic material is present and it forms nuclei. Apart from this genetic material, there are some free circular DNA, free circular DNA, free circular DNA, which are present in the cytoplasm called plasmids. Plasmids or circular DNA. What is the difference between this genetic material and this DNA is, this is the genetic material which carries the characters from parent to progeny. One more bacteria is born with the same characters, that is because of this genetic material. This nucleoid consists of that genetic material. Genetic material. Okay. The nucleoid consists of genetic material which has capacity to carry the genetic information from one individual to another individual. That is, same characters will be passed from one person to another person. That is because of this nucleoid. What is this plasmid DNA? This is an extracircular DNA. Okay, that is present in the cytoplasm. It gives additional characters to that bacteria in which it is present. Additional uh, characters like resistance to diseases, resistance to diseases. And we'll discuss about plasmid DNA in detail in the next chapter which is coming. Presently you understand it is an extra DNA which gives extra characters to the bacteria in which it is present. Right? So with this prokaryotic cells discussion is completed.